can just get straight to it today. So I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all introduce yourselves, starting with the brains of the operation, Mugga.
K Mugga. Follow me on Instagram, KMugga19. We out here.
Heard it.
You know it. Vibes. No cartel. Let's go.
Heard it.
Happy to be back for another episode, everybody. It's your boy Gene, aka Mr. Both Sides of the Fence, aka Mr. I Don't Generalize Shit. What's good?
What's
And,
that mean?
Yeah, I was actually about to say something about that because someone told me that you got to stop saying that, bro.
I was thinking that. What the fuck you mean?
I love that. I like that a lot, actually.
You got to clarify.
Do I?
Oh,
I mean, not good, but it would help me and others understand you better.
You know how many people I'm here to please?
I'm not. You don't have to please anyone. I would just like to understand.
hopefully a lot.
To please?
So we can have some fans. Yeah.
You don't gotta please. It's not about pleasing. It's about.
I don't know if I'm here to please, entertain, hopefully, or ideally, not hopefully. But what is it you don't understand, Damien?
What do you mean? What's that phrase mean?
What phrase in particular?
Mr. Both sides of the fence.
I'm a Gemini.
Devil's advocate.
And I like to not necessarily devil's advocate, because it could be a bad situation where I want to see the good, and I'm not entertaining the negative. I'm entertaining the positive. It just means like I give credence to both scenarios. Like two things can be true. Like two scenarios that can be a stark contrast can both be plausible and rational and justifiable. So it's like before I make a stark choice and decide to, like, out of bias or out of familiarity, decide to be like, yeah, I fuck with that right there. Like in my mind, my default, I process both scenarios, which annoys a lot of people and some people appreciate about me, which is like, I like that whoever told that to Daniel is like, that's fine with me, because like I'm still gonna say that every fucking episode.
But that sounds like devil's advocate to me. You play both.
It could be akin. Yeah, there some things are similar to other things.
I can.
Yeah, he's just saying devil's advocate because of the negativity with the negative connotation with the word devil. So it could be the good side when everyone else talks about it.
That's not what I mean.
Basically, he's just saying he could be a contrarian at times.
Contrarian.
I'm with that. I'm the same way. So I could vibe with that. No cartel.
Word. Well, that was a very lengthy intro since we wanted to get
you should play off of that. You should play off of that, Dame. We should, and I'm gonna say it now that we're recording. Like, I could vibe with that. That could be. I would build on it. That's an idea to me. That sounds like a segment or some shit. I don't know. I could vibe with that. You know what I mean? That sounds kind of wavy. Shit, we should play on that somehow. That's a seed.
We gotta when we get deeper into this, I feel like we're gonna have a lot of segments, because I still did like the that PMI shit, the pardon my ignorance. So I think that's definitely something we gotta.
It caught me off guard,
well.
but I fuck with it.
Oh yeah, it hit me in the face, not from left field,
which is cool. I just couldn't think of a scenario fast enough where I was like, I know I'm ignorant on this thing. Like I was struggling in the moment to say like, oh, I know I'm 100% ignorant on this, because again, like,
me too.
Both sides of the fence.
And we're some witty niggas too, so I think we're pretty good on our feet. But I was stumped too.
Yeah,
true. And if you could think quick, you a step ahead of a lot of people. A lot of people that don't even have common sense to think when they have time, much less think quickly.
Is common sense common though?
That's a whole nother subject.
We was having that conversation with Sean the other day.
Yeah, common sense really.
Common sense sometimes. So.
A lot of times, shit.
You should call it relative intelligence, but no.
That's my boy, but he's the ultimate contrarian.
No, that's the contrarian. Like, when I entertain the alternative, it's because
name dropping.
It's he's a bro.
Yeah,
we're not talking shit.
Yeah, he'll probably be honest. Here.
Politically incorrect, man.
I'm not like defending
politically
him,
incorrect,
like,
man.
Saying nothing about him that I wouldn't say to him or haven't said to him.
Okay.
Or trying.
We
I'm
say
not
it to that
trying
nigga face. We say it to that nigga. Oh well, we can't see his face because that nigga be bluffing, talking about he gonna come see us and chill with us and link up and all this shit. That nigga be hiding. But
Well, see,
that's besides the
Luke is
point.
taking shots right now.
Yeah, he's definitely doing it. These are jabs in the stomach.
Nah, Sean's my boy. Virtually.
Nah, for sure. That's bro.
Okay.
Nah, virtually, that's my friend. I never met the man in real life. So.
Virtually.
Yeah, it's like, you know what I mean? It's like your imaginary friend, but he's not imaginary.
This nigga's a pen pal. I'm a pen pal.
Sean, you still that nigga, man. You still that nigga, Sean.
Nah, shout out to my guy Sean. We gonna get him on here one day, but
Oh shit.
we gotta be careful with the topic that day.
We might have to get better at being podcasters before we can unleash Sean on the world.
That is a fact. Sean came through and wrecked some group chats and wrecked some FaceTime calls single-handedly.
That nigga really radical feelings. Let me just keep it at that.
Yeah. Soon. Look forward to Sean coming on the pod, y'all.
We got a lot of people to look forward to, but he's definitely one of them. But shit, I didn't even get to introduce myself since we had to cut Eugene ass real quick. But I'm the facilitator of the Politically Incorrect podcast. Dan the Man, Petty King Danny at New Skywalker. Follow your boy. So yeah, I mean that's my introduction, short and sweet. Yeah, I mean, y'all got anything else y'all want to bullshit about? Y'all want to get straight to the nitty gritty? I just want to say topic.
I know, guys. I know in advance. I'm sorry, but the Knicks almost beat the Nets last night, and that's all I'm saying about it. We don't have to add to it. I just want to say, y'all niggas talking a lot of shit out there, and it was 3 seconds left on the fucking clock, and that game was up for grabs before Jeff Teague got some weird offensive rebound and had to shoot foul shots. So
and Drew Randall almost sealed the deal for us.
Come on, man. I know we don't talk sports here. I know I get it, but I just know that y'all bandwagon Nets fans probably watching this show, and I want to let y'all know I'm on y'all ass. And I saw that shit last night. Y'all almost lost.
Sean Woodard.
Whoa.
Damn.
Gotta do last names. Gotta do last names, mother.
Government issue. Can we bleep that out or something?
Hey.
Liam, cut that out, man.
Yeah.
Our engineer, Liam, cut that out. When it's time for the redo, cut that out.
They censor niggas?
Because this guy, man, you
Nigga,
tell us his address next.
I said Sean last name in the chat, and we almost fought. This nigga sitting on the pod.
Right. Somehow I'm trying to have thousands of followers. I'm gonna say this man's first and last name. Nigga's out of pocket.
I gotta get that nigga on, man.
But shit, yeah, fuck them Nets. So just want to put that out there. I just had to
throw that out there. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I hear that. Well, shit, man, we have an interesting topic that we're gonna discuss. And we'll see if Eugene, Mr. Play Both Sides of the Fence is going to play both sides of the fence on this topic, because it's definitely possible. So what we want to talk about right now is we want to talk about the civil rights movement, some history and stuff like that. So
what's
your
specifically?
Opinion,
okay. I got you. My bad.
Whose strategy do you coincide with more?
I know what this is going. Michael
Dr.
or
King,
Malcolm or
or Malcolm X.
Are we asking me first?
Yeah, go ahead. You can go ahead.
I am gonna play both sides of the fence. Ideally, I can get to my goal without having to fight. If I don't have to fight to achieve my goal, I won't. So ideally, I would do Martin's. But I know my temperament, and I call bullshit a lot. So I will, in actuality, I will probably, if I was put into one of those scenarios, I'm sure I would lean way more into my Malcolm than my Martin. But ideally, I think if I could choose and it was gonna work, one of their strategies, which one to do. Are you asking me whose is more effective?
I mean, you could answer that. It's an opinionated question. So, I mean, in your opinion, you might think one is more effective than the other, or you might agree with one more than the other. Just any of your thoughts on it, really.
So it's, if I say who's more effective, is to what end? Because that opens up a different conversation about the implications of segregation. Like there's a bunch of good things that come with it, quote unquote, and there are a bunch of negative things that come with it, quote unquote. And I like what they teach us in our schools and our community is a byproduct of segregation. The reason
Yeah,
why
I don't think you
What
need
is
to
more?
quote
What
unquote.
is
I don't think you need to quote unquote the negative side because it's definitely negative.
what?
Yeah, for sure.
What do you think is more feasible?
Out of what?
Like, do you feel like, in
Out
terms
of
of the
the strategy.
out of the
What
sides, the
strategy do you feel
strategies,
like
like,
more feasible?
right? So like,
I
I
mean,
see you. It sounded like you were kind of leaning more towards Malcolm X, I presume, because you were saying that because of your temperament, you would.
not that
Possibly.
well, I'm not saying I'm leaning into Malcolm X because I think it's more feasible. I'm saying based on who I am as a person, if I was put in those situations, I'm irritable, I could be retaliatory, and I know I'm not gonna just consistently take the high road the way Martin did. So that's what I'm saying.
Self-awareness.
Ideally, exactly. Like
I'll take it then.
ideally, I would do the Martin. You know, I don't want to fight. I'm not trying to argue and shit, but I already know, especially if I'm behind the cause, like the betterment of my fucking people, and niggas is doing murderous, heinous shit, I'm probably gonna be ready to clap back, bro. You know?
I feel like some people only respect power. So like there's no way you could just be. Some people look at you being like turning the other cheek as weakness, and I feel like they could take advantage of that. So
Or try to.
yeah,
Yeah,
they
if
can
they
try
feel
to.
they could.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
they feel
to
they
a
could take
degree,
advantage.
like some people only respect when you flex on them, and you like you assert your. Yeah, I completely agree. Ideally, you want to take the Martin route, and if I had to pick a side, I would still lean towards Martin personally because I'm not a big fan of violence. However, I'm starting to like I see
Sometimes you
that.
got time. Sometimes you just got time.
I'm not saying I'm saying I
Well,
do.
yeah, sometimes I'll be having
I
time.
would say, at least for me,
You're
and
Malcolm.
I'm not. I don't want to like say I'm not like a very violent person. I'm not trying to punch somebody in the face and do all that crazy shit. Maybe a long time ago I was trying to do shit like that, but
Don't say maybe.
basically,
Say that maybe like we don't know who Mugga is.
I heard
basically,
stories.
Like he's
hold
not
on.
talking to
Let me
the
get my
nigga.
point out. What I'm trying to say is, I don't think the Martin way was really gonna work. True, like in practical sense, I don't think it was gonna work. They was gonna run all over that motherfucker. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I'm not trying to like
What you mean?
downplay, because these white, listen, in the white society, they was trying to control the whole narrative. They wasn't trying to hear that soft shit. Malcolm X said, man, listen, he seen that nigga Martin, I think it was like one time or something, and say, yo, we gotta be forceful on this shit. We gotta be forceful. Like, they not trying to hear us speak that soft tone language. We gotta come in there running shit. Like, man, I'll fuck you
Anybody
up.
watch that recent movie about Malcolm? What was it? Something night, one night in Miami or some shit?
Oh, that's a fictional
Interpretation.
depiction, yeah, of if it was Malcolm, Martin, and some other civil rights activists, like a fictional, like if they all linked up together one night in Miami, what would happen? I do want to watch it. I just haven't yet.
That sounds like a fire concept.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, do we think either one of their strategies worked or didn't work? Because
I was just gonna say
we're
it
living
another
embodiments of.
You know what's crazy? And this is weird. Things started actually really changing when Martin Luther King died. It took violence for things to start actually coming into fruition to its own.
But that was violence from the other side, though.
But it took some form of violence to constitute some kind of change.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, Martin was a martyr.
They're
right?
both martyrs,
So,
yeah.
Yeah, so when that happened, that was the effect of him basically being a martyr. It wasn't the effect of really us as people saying, or us as people doing the violent or aggressive way to get things done. It was more retaliation to what had already been done to us. I personally would love to take the Martin route, but I personally think the Malcolm route has proven to be more effective. Not not necessarily in the civil rights movement, but just in history in general, right? When you look at other type of events that happen, other things that happen, like, I mean, you can go back to the Boston Tea Party. They kept complaining about taxes. Nothing happened.
They
Being,
wreck
you know,
shit.
correct about
They
it. They
wreck
started
shit.
wrecking shit, and then, you know, things start to happen.
That's what
and
produces change.
Niggas saw
Right.
their dollars floating in the ocean.
Exactly. So I feel like ultimately that it gets to that at some point, and I feel like that's when the most prominent change happens. But ideally, yeah, I would want to take the Martin route. But yeah, I mean, it takes a little bit of both. I think that they realized that the Martin route was working.
You got to
and that's
start
what
with
they
Martin
feared.
and end up with
That
Malcolm.
Martin,
It was
that-
a slow burn.
Exactly.
it was a
Martin
very
played the
slow
long game.
burn. It was a
He played the
very
long
slow
game.
burn.
Hey man, slow and steady wins the race, though.
Man,
For
they was
sure.
disrespecting our people, man. They was.
I think Martin was more effective than we give it credit for.
Absolutely.
They
I
was
think we just
disrespecting.
didn't get a chance to see everything it would have become, obviously.
I think
so,
it'll.
mean,
I
that
think.
definitely.
I think ultimately it would have got to a point where it would have been good for us in the long term, but it would have took a long ass time with that route. I think
yeah,
Malcolm
yeah.
X. I think if Malcolm
What would
X
have
stayed
took a long
alive,
ass time?
if
What
we
would've took a
went the
long
Martin
ass
Luther
time?
King route, if we went that route
No.
and stayed
What would have took a long time?
Change to happen, basically.
for change, yeah, for
Like,
things to come into
how you saying?
fruition, for us to. I feel like put it like this. I feel like if Malcolm X was still alive and he didn't get killed in what was it 1965, whatever it was, if he stayed alive for his whole natural life, I feel like you will see more change right now in 2021. And if Martin Luther King stayed alive for his whole natural life, I feel like you will see less of an actual change of where we.
I never thought about that before, but I beg to differ because in 2021 we know that they hold everybody's past against them, and cancel culture is a real fucking thing. So if Martin was doing aggressive things back in the day, they would have found a way to hang him today. They would have found a way to ridicule the shit out of him today.
I think that what you were just saying, Keen.
That's why we need that aggressiveness, man. We need a nigga that's gonna come in and just say, man, we gotta just start wrecking their shit, and then that's when it's gonna instill some type of real movement, real change swiftly.
I think your viewpoints were just opposing, though, in a sense, Keenan, because you said you feel like in the long run, Martin's strategy would have worked better. It would have just took a long time. But then you said if they were both still alive, that Malcolm would have got us further. So I'm confused.
You got to be both, man.
I feel like Martin's way. I feel like where we at right now today. Let's say Martin Luther King lived his whole natural life, right? Like alive, well, didn't get shot. Whatever.
I think a lot of change would have.
I think that. I personally think
I think that's why he's dead.
I personally think that him getting shot expedited all this of where we're at today. I think if he stayed alive for his whole natural life, 2021 would have really felt like 1985. Me personally.
The only reason I disagree is because they killed him for a reason.
Yeah.
Like he didn't like walk in the street and not look both ways and get hit by a car. Like he was assassinated. That means they were seeing
because the change was influence. Coming. Exactly.
Yeah. They were like, oh no, this nigga he's making change. We gotta get him up out of here.
Exactly.
Around for this
they saw him as a threat and had to eliminate the threat, basically.
They put a fire out. Fire spread.
Mm-hmm.
I get what Mugga's saying. I guess.
How much of a threat would he have really been? They
enough
took
of a
him
threat
out.
For them to murder him, Mugga. Now,
Yeah,
bro. They killed him.
But I feel
That's
like that killing. But I do feel like that killing sparked a even faster change. So it actually went against what they thought was going to ultimately happen.
I think they cut the head off the snake and slowed down our momentum a lot. Personally,
yeah.
I think what expedited what's happening today. I'm not saying today is perfect, of course not. I mean, we see everything what's going on in the news and shit like that. But I feel like him getting shot actually expedited things more so. I feel like if he stayed alive, we wouldn't be here where we're at right now.
How do you feel that? Like,
because
It's
it
been a
because it was
big-ass
a whole outrage.
So you think the outrage would have been bigger than the reactions he was going to be stirring up by being alive?
Right. You remember when he
Yeah,
got
that's one way to look
killed?
at it, I
Remember when
guess.
he got killed? It was that whole first week or two. It was such crazy
But
media.
what changed though? Like, but what changed?
Shit dies down quick too, though. People like forget quick. What's
A
not?
lot of things.
Well,
A
that
lot of things. They just people ride the trend, ride the wave, right? And when something happens, everyone reacts and they follow after, and it's like, oh, we're gonna do this, we're gonna make this change, and then it quickly dies down.
Yeah.
I think people's attention span is very, very short, especially for things that are, it's a process. It takes time. That's not a process that's a few months, a few weeks. That's not even a few years. That's decades worth of time. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. Yeah. Do you guys feel like, Martin Luther King has his day. Do you think that there should be a Malcolm? There is a Malcolm X Day, but it's not like a national holiday. Do you feel like it should be? Do you feel
that's tough?
Because you know what it is? The reason why he don't have his own day is because he was sparking a lot of aggressiveness.
Punching niggas in the
mouth. It was a lot of radical shit. So because we live in a white society, we gotta be honest about that, and they don't like all that hostility with the black community coming at them, and that's why they're not giving his due props. That's why they fucking.
To be fair, let's look at it from a perspective of a non-racist white person, and what happens if you deal with the repercussions of how would you feel? It's almost like if we flip it back to, I know we don't like doing the whole male female thing, but if you're an innocent male, right, and then a female that was hurt from her past takes out her shit on you and you didn't do anything, how would you feel in that sense? I think that same analogy can be taken over.
I find it funny. Hold on.
That's a stretch.
I find it very funny that they can't give my boy Malcolm X a real national holiday, but I find it interesting that they gave Christopher Columbus a national holiday. Why? And he was going through it and doing all that aggressive bullshit.
Right, but they didn't acknowledge once they acknowledged aggressive shit, they cut his shit off too. As soon as they said, hey, he was doing all this shit, now there's no now niggas aren't celebrating that shit no more.
Wait.
There's a big difference between Christopher and Malcolm.
Yes. Wait. That aside, Malcolm X is the person they have murdered because he was working against them, and Christopher Columbus was a founding father. That's it.
But
there's obvious reasons why white people will give Christopher Columbus a holiday before
it's
Malcolm.
Not. I don't think it's really
I personally think it's because he is a white man that's benefiting them.
This nigga.
Okay. So what did you interpret from what Eugene just said then? Because that's basically what he said.
But yes, I agree with you, Mugga. Yes, it's because he's a white man that benefited them, and Malcolm X was a black man that didn't benefit them.
Hey man, listen,
I think it's the message that's being promoted, right? Do you want to promote the violence?
If you're the winner, sure. If I want to, I might celebrate.
But what do you mean? Like Christopher Columbus was violent, so they're still celebrating the violence.
Well, I don't think so much now, though. I thought that now, so they were kind of pulling away from the whole Christopher Columbus Day because of the unraveling of. To my knowledge, I thought it was.
So what a lot of states are trying to do in deference to the Native Americans is name it Indigenous Peoples Day and celebrate that instead of Christopher Columbus Day. But it's not like a national holiday.
It's crazy that we had to scream for that shit for them to actually start changing the mold of the name.
Scream for what? I think it was they said this was the truth and it wasn't.
But what I'm saying is when I was in school, I never heard of this Indigenous People Day or whatever.
Because you get told fuck is in the textbook? And the textbook said this.
Isn't that funny though?
That relates back to what I was saying earlier about positive and negative segregation. Like we were taught that stuff on purpose, right? To bias us, to give us a perspective so that when we grew up, we would act as such, or our beliefs would be according to the things that they intentionally taught us. Whereas again, like I've been doing a lot of financial research on the internet, and one of the videos I was watching, this guy was talking to someone who was asking him for advice. And he's like, yeah, that's 7th grade economics. That's simple stuff. And I was flabbergasted by how casual he said it. Not only was it like simple economics, but it was like it was just 7th grade economics. One, that tells me like you took economics in 7th grade and before 7th grade. Maybe y'all was. I in New Haven, Connecticut was not taking economics in the 7th grade. Definitely not my second goal. I took economics later on.
I took economics in college.
That's what I took economics later in high school, and it was like really brief. It was nothing really until I got to college. And that in itself tells you
that doesn't tell you. We don't have enough information to make that claim. Only I say that because I've been to school, so many different schools. I probably went to like 4 elementary schools, like 2 different middle schools, 2 high schools in different states and such. So it was like sometimes
you still didn't take economics in 7th grade.
Huh?
When did you take economics for the first time?
What I wanted to ask is where the fuck was this economics class being taken in 7th grade too?
That's my point. Is like they won't teach us economics in 7th grade. They intentionally don't teach us.
They teach
how
us
to be financially.
Farmington High School,
about social studies, and about African American history, and our Harriet Tubman, and that we were slaves. That's what they teach us. They teach us about Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and how they died and that they were martyrs, and that I Have a Dream speech. They teach us that stuff. They're teaching other kids in suburbs economics about how to be functional human beings and how to like pay your taxes and like it's a different ball game. Even if you
speak on something I don't know.
Yeah, that's you. Even if you, man, even if you are the type of person who could be like a class clown or who isn't like excelling in your class or something like that, you are still ahead of a person in 7th grade taking economics. As a 7th grader taking economics, you're still ahead of a 7th grader who isn't.
The education gap is essentially what we're trying to cover, or what we're addressing.
No, I was just piggybacking off of, again, positives and negatives of segregation. When we chose to segregate and have our schools funded by, controlled by the government, essentially, right? They control the curriculum, and it's on purpose. They teach their kids how to get ahead. And
basically, they control the narrative. They have the say on what's going to be taught, what's not going to be taught. Yada. Basically,
it's funny though that the curriculum, even when you look from town to town, much less from state to state, how much it differs. Like
county to
county. In Texas, I don't know if y'all know this, but Texans are very proud people. You know, Texas was its own country at one point, blah, 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 blah. Bro, they literally take Texas history. Like they take American history.
That's some narcissistic shit.
Right? And then they take Texas history. And
Texas
like
history?
Yeah, like Texas.
What is that? What the Alamo and shit? Like
I didn't go to school in Texas, Keenan. I have no fucking idea. Whatever the fuck Texas history includes, that's what they tell the motherfuckers.
Chili,
I don't know. I'll learn in a few years when Bailey go to school. That's what I'll find out. Right now, I don't know. But they teach them that, and then like, you know, Texas is in the Bible Belt. It's very religious. Like they don't do any type of sexual education at all. Like in Connecticut and Windsor, like we had health class and they did sexual education and talked about safe sex and you know, like protection and all that shit and diseases, and they don't do that shit in Texas. They don't do that shit out here. Like it's very, very different. So I mean, depending on where you're at and where you're going, you know, it's very fucking different.
I mean, do you think a lot of that could be attributed to the funding that the district is getting? Like the town, like you said, it like
it's a culture. They were just starting to be their own country not that long ago.
No,
Yeah,
I'm
I
talking
think
about
it's
just presented with schools and education, and like you're saying, at one how from town to town, state to state, like education different. Like I know,
yeah, I mean, absolutely. Because if you go to school in Hartford versus if you go to school in Farmington, it's completely different.
Oh,
As far as your resources and stuff like
Connecticut
that.
to Florida. I was in Connecticut, went to elementary school in Connecticut, and then stuff I was learning in middle school in Florida, I already had learned in elementary school in Connecticut. So sometimes it's just like state to state.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it depends on what state you're in, but even in the same
And
state,
school district.
yeah, like even in the same
Yeah.
state, in a different school district that has more money, they have smaller classrooms, so you get more attention from the teachers. They can be more focused on like you actually mastering your like the stuff you're learning instead of just memorizing it or just glossing over it. The different type of books that they have, like all the resources they have. Like there's schools that I'm sure in these small towns that don't have a computer lab. Right? They can't afford computers. They're just a small town that doesn't have no money. Like it's different everywhere. So the level of
I just think that's
education
so
from town
sad.
to town is definitely a difference.
I just think that's so sad.
I mean,
How they
man,
just underfund these school systems, and next thing you know,
but who is
the kids
they
can't
though?
even get
The
Who
government.
is they
the
though?
government.
I
Yeah,
don't think it's the government though.
It is
To be completely
government.
fair,
Oh,
think
schools
about.
are government funded, unless they're private.
I thought
schools.
I thought they were funded by the localities, right? So it depends on what, like, if your area, your town, if you're in a rich town, you have more funding for, and then depending on the level of schooling, like certain schools like have alumni that pay for schooling. Because I know my cousins go to school not too far from here, Hopkins, where they have alumni that will fucking donate millions and millions of dollars.
Can I ask you a
Is it a
question?
private school?
Can I ask you a question, Dan?
Is it a private school?
I believe so.
yeah,
That's different.
That's the
It's
difference.
private.
Dan, can I ask you a question?
But even public schools, aren't they funded by like localities?
Dan,
Even if it's even if it's through a subsidiary, it stems back to government funding.
Right.
My ignorance. I gotta look this up. I gotta do some homework.
My whole
What do you
thing
mean,
is, why is
They will make sure. Go ahead, no, my bad. I'm sorry.
why is the dispersion of money so like? Why is it even like that for schooling? I just feel like these kids don't even know
we just talked about it. It's intentional, bro. They don't want you to know. Your sheep, your farm, your
But like I want us to
livestock.
I want us to come up with some type of assumption to this. Like I just feel like it's madness.
I mean,
to me, it's
but it's not new. It's age old. They always do.
I'm not saying it's yeah. I know it's age old, but I really personally just want to know like how do they operate with this? How do they go about this whole the money, the funds, like how do they operate? Like that always confused me. I understand they don't want us to know, but I would love to know.
What I don't think it's as like cryptic as we're portraying it personally.
Correct.
I think simply
it's
like
public knowledge.
Or even I think that all right. So I said the last podcast we're talking about a different topic, but I think it applies here, right? When things aren't on equal footing from start, right? Let's say when you were talking about the WNBA and NBA and how NBA started, had a 70-year head start. So if a particular demographic has a 70-year head start and then everything becomes equal, we're still 70 years behind, and we're going to stay 70 years behind unless we have something to bridge that gap, right?
Hang on. I just need you to get a little closer to 400-year head start.
It was just
you gotta keep certain shit in mind.
Right. We could do that.
We're pushing 500-year head start.
Yeah, but he's just talking about town versus town.
So we're saying why, and then it's just like, well, we never bridged that gap. It's like we said, there's a race, and we said go, and you had left. You started the race 30 seconds before me, and we both go on the same speed, but.
We also have to account for things like Tulsa, and you can conspirize, but there have been blatant attempts to get rid of Black Wall Street, do away with Black Panthers. Any type of Black organization has been diffused for a variety of power. We say public knowledge again. I'll say public knowledge again, but on the public knowledge level, for a variety of justifiable reasons. They're criminals or whatever the case they may have been. Illegitimate money making, a bunch of things that they'll use to come and justify shutting you down and burning your shit down. Tulsa, they were just killing people and bombing them and shooting them in the street. But even though I was only in the 60s, You know, my dad was born in the 60s, and he's like not old. That just tells you like that wasn't that long ago. That's not a long time ago. That's not a long time ago. People like to make it seem like it's history and it was mad long ago. It's like, no, nigga, my father was like outside, you know, like it's not that long ago. My father can backflip off of a swing today. He's not old.
You're right.
So, Tulsa happened in the 60s, bro. Like they was that bombing when they killed people, children, and their families just for trying to level up happened in the 60s.
I thought that was the 20s.
Tulsa?
No, you're thinking of Black Wall Street.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, my fault. I'm thinking of Black Wall Street.
Yeah, Black Wall Street was 100 years ago. That's a whole different.
I mean, that's another example, and that's a gap between. So it's like it shows me that in Black Wall Street, we had our shit wiped out. We took time to recalibrate, reorganize, and get our feet back under us and said, all right, you know, black people, we wave, we're gonna get it, we're gonna give it another go. Boom. Fast forward, we do it again, Tulsa.
They do a lot of things to try to take away our power, man.
For sure.
They don't want us to one up. They don't want us to get that one leg. That's how they get down.
So I want to go back onto the schooling, education shit again, real quick. So, first talk about the funding. Like we're talking about the funding. So Dame, the funding it's obviously state funding, federal funding, and yes, your local funding, right? Mm-hmm. But they don't actually make sure that it's like equal across the board. So if you're in a locale, what was that?
I see why from a standpoint of more socialistic approach, I understand socialist approach that I understand why you would say it's not equal and it should be. There's, like I said, some localities have people funding more to their public schools than others. Like, I don't think it's right. So, I'm not saying it's right at all. I just like if this area has more money.
This is the thing though. So if all right, so let me go. It's gonna take me a little while to get.
Yeah, that's fucked up, bro. Because the area has more money, I get to learn different information than me.
Right.
So, yeah, that is fucked up.
I'm not saying it's not fucked up, bro. I'm not saying it's fucked up at all. I'm not saying that.
So this
right.
Is
but here's my biggest problem is I don't understand the money dispersion. I understand.
But I just said higher. That's what I was trying to.
They should find a way to balance it all out.
How?
They don't want to.
That's basically what. Hold on. So yeah, that's the problem, that they won't balance it out. So that's what I was trying to say before y'all niggas all didn't let me finish talking. So the funding is the state, the feds, and then local taxes, however they break it down. But basically the state funding and the federal funding, they're pretty much making it equal across the board. So when you have those towns that are getting more income from the local taxes, those areas, those locales get the extra bread because they have it coming in. Versus if, for example, I know that this locale has a shit ton of money, instead of breaking it up equally in the state and federal funding, I can give them a little less so that the places with lower locale income taxes can get more, so I can even the playing field. But they don't want to even the playing field. They like it to be how it is. So that's where you're getting the discrepancy.
Your self-value, your value of self doesn't matter to them. Their perspective of you is that you are less than. So even though we have self-awareness and that we perceive it to be a discrepancy and say, why is it this way? And why do you not allocate funds equally in our neighborhoods the same way we can make those complaints and those and we can tell them that we're aware of that, but they still don't view you and value you the way you do yourself and the people around you. So that's it. It's a matter of value. It's a matter.
How do you feel?
So in that sense, it's kind of like that empathy talk. They don't feel.
Yeah, no.
They can't see into our shoes.
No,
because they're worried about their own. They're in their own bubble.
Yeah, they create. We all live in
the bubble that they created.
Right.
They have America. Big ass bubble.
What I have a question is, how do you feel about the way America is run, the government itself, right? Because it seems like from what I'm hearing, we are more in line politically socialism ? Question mark.
What?
Like more socialist view. Like so.
Explain.
So in a more socialist government, like you have those equalities, right? Where you have like everything is, all the resources are divvied up more equally, and it's not separated by like this area has more money, so their schooling is more. That's what it sounds like based on like the whole, well, this area has more, they should give to this less fortunate area. It just makes me think that the government style that we're discussing would probably be closer to socialism.
It sounds
I just wanted to clarify if that was the case.
It sounds like the government style is not based. It's not based off fairness. I mean, honestly, I don't think life is really based off fairness. But
yo,
it's,
we live in a capitalist society. This is not news to any of us.
I want to stop you there too, because we're not a pure capitalist society either.
It's based on equality. It's not based on fairness.
Right.
There's a difference between equal and fair.
Right. Fairness doesn't apply. Like they don't care about that. Oh, this area makes more money. This area can fund X, Y, and Z. This is what we care about. We don't care about
our own town, our own streets, our own infrastructure. We're not worried about the town over. We have to worry about our own hospital.
Right.
So what do you guys think?
It does sound it does sound on the surface fucked up. But it's
get this man out of here.
What did nigga Damon say? I know he said something crazy.
Was it that crazy?
Nah,
it wasn't that crazy. I said, what do you think? We should be the USSA?
This nigga said, should we be Russia?
Yeah, USSA. United States, what? United Socialist States of America? I don't know. I'm asking because, like,
I think a more socialist approach is. I agree more with the socialist approach. I'll just leave it at that.
I think I'm more
over capitalist.
I say fuck them both, but I think America.
That's why I said I agree with more. I'm not saying I agree with one or the other 100%.
I could tell. That's what I was. That's what I was getting. That's where I got from what you were saying.
Both sides of the fence, man. Both sides of the fence.
But do you really think America is that capital? I don't think they're a pure capitalist. It's not a pure capitalist.
You ever been to New York?
Yeah, I've been to New York.
Wait, Damon, you didn't just say that.
To Boston?
Wait.
You ever been to Boston?
Yeah.
You ever been downtown Boston?
Yes, sir. Where are you going?
You ever see that the ratio of homeless people is like 3 to 1?
Outstanding.
But where are we going with this?
You said America's not that. You're right. It's not that. It's not
purely capitalist. It's not pure capitalist. By what I'm saying is
winning and losing.
Okay, please. Hold on. I'm mind fucked real quick.
We could do this. We could do the research.
Okay, hold on. What do you mean?
It's a mixed economy. It ain't a fucking pure. It ain't capitalist. It ain't just capitalist running shit, because then there will be. I mean, we still have a lot of dominating forces. Like there is like the Facebooks, the Amazons, and such. However, there's regulations on the motherfuckers. So we're not purely.
But we talking about
regulations don't mean they're not capitalized.
Yeah, we're talking about the
money. Not pure capital. I didn't say it wasn't.
You don't have to monopolize something to capitalize.
Look at the definition of.
You don't have to be the only competition in town. You don't have to be the only show in town to be a capitalist.
But I'm not saying it's not a capitalistic society. I think it's more balanced than people are giving it credit for. I don't think America is purely just like straight.
It's not purely, but it's more capitalistic than socialistic.
It's 80-20.
It could be, yeah. If you want to lean which way, but yeah. But I don't think it's like
75-25. 75-25.
Okay.
25.
Every company is about making money in America. It's all about profiting. It's all about trading. It's all about that's America.
It's mixed economy. It's a mixed economy.
It's not, nigga.
It is a mixed economy, but it's more capitalistic than anything else.
Okay.
It's mixed economy. Look up the government. It's a mixed economy. it may be, like I said, it may lean more to capitalist than socialism.
I'm
But
not
it's a
100%
fucking mixed
Wait,
economy.
hold on. So I got a definition. I got a
Does
definition.
mixed economy mean that it cannot be capitalistic?
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying it can't. It's probably leaning more to capitalism. However, it's not a capitalist.
Which means it's capital. So it is a capitalistic society.
No, it's a mixed economy.
If it's
a
most,
mixed economy.
But how much of a mix though? That's the question.
Bro,
because if it's 70-30,
but if it's more
80-20,
so,
then it's basically capitalistic.
right?
Bro.
If it's more so of something, it's what that is.
It's a mixed
If you say it's
mixed, sounds like it's like divvied up. Like no,
it is divvied up. It ain't
look.
That's one thing. It's like 75-25, bro.
What you talking about, Dane?
In most cases,
it's not a pure capitalist. But that's what I was saying. It's not pure capitalist. It's not as capitalist.
Who cares about that type of language? Who cares about that type of language?
Dang. In certain scenarios, if you own 51% of the company, niggas can't tell you shit. You own that fucking company. You can make the final say. You own 51% to the 49, and that's as close. That's
majority rules. That's
exactly.
So my argument's sake. My whole argument is saying that America isn't so far capitalist as everyone is.
It is so far capitalist.
Who's everyone?
I'm agreeing to the point.
All right, so Dame, let me ask you then, what percentage do you think then?
Yeah, it's probably is some 70-30 shit.
That's not what
it's more than 70.
Argument.
It's more than 70.
It's more than 70.
It's 80. It's easily 80-20.
It's more than 70, Dame. I can promise you.
No, now we're just pulling numbers out our asses. What I'm saying
is, we're not, bro. There are multi-billion-dollar corporations that pay like a couple $100 in taxes, bro.
What I'm saying is we don't have empirical data to say 70-30, 80-20, whatever. That's not the point. My argument is that while people think we're 99% capitalist, we're not that fucking bad. It's not.
Yeah, we're not 99. We're 75-25.
That's not what I'm saying though. I'm
70-30. Yo, so
nigga, you fighting for this cause like this split.
All right. Do you know the concept? You be content with a socialist?
Yo, this nigga Dame fought for the cause vehemently and valiantly, just to say it might be 80-20.
So Dame.
I said it from jump. It's not pure capitalism, and that's what I think people are thinking is pure capitalism. And I'm like, yo, it's not pure capitalism. It's not that bad. I mean, it's still capitalist, right?
If it's 80-20 or 90-10, I mean,
you're not getting it. And that's
why I 100% get what you're saying.
So then why are you still saying that? Like, I understand it's leaning, it's capitalist leaning. I consider it myself, I would say, hey, yes, this is more capitalist of an environment. However, realistically speaking, it's a mixed economy where it's not as bad as a pure capitalist society.
I don't like the word mix because you were saying that.
No, nigga, that's exactly what it is, though. That's exactly our government. It's a mixed economy. That's what it's called. It's not. I'm not making this shit up. I'm not saying if you look at it's a mixed economy. This is not from
the word mix is probably throwing me off. That's what it is. Hey man,
that's what it is. So all right. So what?
Well, how mix is throwing you off, Muggy? You lost me with that one.
Because when I hear mix, I feel like when I hear mix,
I feel like we already all agreed that it's roughly 70-30, 80-20, and now we're arguing semantics.
Right.
I think
you're
right, Gene. We are going to semantics. I was just talking about the initial thought when you said mixed, but then again, you did say it is like 70-30. So I'm not even gonna. I won't dive deep.
I say. What I want to go into saying is how you would be content with a more socialist environment, like
Sweden,
huh?
Kind of like Sweden.
I don't know Sweden's government. I'm uninformed.
They're very socialist. They're like a prime example of what they call a real socialist type of government.
Like one of like the countries with like the happiest people in the world or something.
Right. They're all for their people. They're all, for their people and how they kind of break it down. And then they look at America as one of those companies that just try to capitalize off of fortunes, money, trade, shit like that. And they look at us as a prime example of capitalism. So,
yo, biggest problem with America is that they don't teach us how to survive. They don't teach us
They
how to
say,
live. They teach,
what?
no, they don't. My nigga, Damon, slow down, bro.
Damon, what's the homeless? Hold on, what's the rate of homelessness in the United States?
What point are you trying to prove by asking me this question? Let's nip this in the butt before we go down the rabbit hole. What are you trying to get at?
Honestly, I don't even want to talk about politics anymore. I just want to delete this whole topic. I'm just waiting for y'all to wrap up.
Nah.
You the host? No, go ahead.
No, I'm interested. So you said socialism.
You the
like,
host,
what is
my boy. You the host.
socialism?
I ain't gonna impede y'all conversation. I'm just over it personally.
We got.
I mean, the arbiter. Personally, I like the word arbiter better than facilitator because it makes it seem. Facilitator makes it. I as a person in real life really appreciate Dan's perspective.
I do too.
Facilitator makes it seem
like he's just passing. He takes shots.
Like I need my nigga to shoot. So I like the word arbiter because arbiter is the nigga who chooses.
I'm gonna look this up.
He decides. Like when something's arbitrary, it's like it's fly by night. It's whatever you decide. People say football is arbitrary. Spotting the ball on the field is arbitrary. The rest put the shit down. Wrong, but nobody really matters. We ain't got time to really figure out too much until we bring the chains out or something like that. It's arbitrary. The arbiter is the nigga who like chooses. Like I'm the arbiter. But yeah, look up that word. I think that fits Dan. I think that
you're educating me, man. I appreciate the enlightenment.
Where are we going from here?
Yeah, I feel like facilitator to
I
somebody.
Feel like every week we go over a new term and like dudes learn some new vocab.
Bars, man. That's good. This is our segue, right? Our educational part.
We're
ignorant, but I need to look up arbiter.
Where we going from this one,
Dan? Right there.
I think it's more appropriate for the type of person Dan is.
Dan is the man with the plan. Peter Piper picked the pan.
I ain't nobody special.
I'm interested in the socialist shit, man. I really want to know if niggas understand the implications of a socialist government.
I don't have enough info on socialism to really speak on it, but
I was self-aware and honest. Respected.
I mean, I think it's like they say the cliche is it's in the name. And yes, I understand what the implications of a socialist government are, but I also feel like just looking at Dame, it's a loaded question, and he may have an answer in mind.
There's something that he has a pre-assumption about something.
Exactly.
I already drew on the canvas.
Correct. You're asking a rhetorical question. So give your perspective on what a socialist government is, or what the implications of a socialist government are.
The lack of ability to so you do get the benefits of being capitalist, right? Like you could essentially transcend where you are in like society, right? So like I can move from lower class to high class. I'm not saying that it's
sorry about that, y'all. I live in the hood.
Huh?
My bad.
What happened?
I said my bad. I live in the hood. Somebody just drove by with the Civic, and I definitely saw it on my mic.
Hell yeah, nigga. It's like a muffler falling off and all types of shit.
Exactly.
I feel like from what I understand, socialism has more of a balance in the
it's just about leveling the playing
economical field. And it's just like Canada. I think Canada's like socialist.
You can't say we gotta say stuff like that with fact.
Yeah, I actually don't have fact, but from what I heard from people that I know from Canada, it's more of a balanced government compared to America, where you got this percentage at
socialism makes economics too.
I think that's why some people argue against it.
Huh?
I think that's why some people argue against it.
Yeah, it doesn't incentivize people to open businesses, It doesn't sensitize, and it doesn't give you incentives for working harder, right? Because like, if we all gonna get paid the same, essentially, this is pure socialism, and everything is good and balanced. If everything is just, if we get 50K regardless of what the fuck we do, why the fuck I'm gonna work harder than? Why do I give a fuck about my job? Why am I
that I don't think that any of us.
See, look, this goes back to what I was saying about America don't teach us to survive. America teaches us how to get jobs and how to work for other people. It doesn't teach us how, like, if the power goes out and we don't have Wi-Fi and we all run out of gas and shit, and you have to stay in your house and you can't go to the grocery store and there it is again. There's no truck to deliver fucking fresh meat and fish and rice and shit to your local grocery store where you go get groceries. If all that shit stops, we will fucking die. Other people who governments don't make as much money as ours, whose economy isn't as bustling as ours, they would be fine. They would.
No, I disagree completely, because I think America does teach you how to survive in the fact that it gives you the opportunity to be more independent than if I was to rely on a socialist government.
Damon, you know how to garden right now? You know how to grow food right now?
No, but I could fucking learn.
If we lost power right now and the grocery stores in your circumference stopped, they ran out, and there's no trucks coming to refill. Okay. You're gonna know how to eat 3 times a day. When you can't go buy protein from the gym, and you can't do those things that we take.
Why are you coming at my protein, bro?
I'm not. No. I'm giving. I'm just listen. Slow down. So I'm just painting a scenario of things that may or may not be important to you, or that things that may or may not be regular. When we take away those liberties, are you going to be able to survive and live? We don't learn how to do that here. We learn about money. We learn about how to get jobs. We learn about how to put ourselves in debt and go to college. And we learn how to integrate ourselves into a loop that is designed for us we're on a conveyor belt in a sense. And that's why the ceilings be so low, because the intent for us isn't to blossom, isn't to grow.
I feel like
I just want to say one quick thing. I'm sorry, Dan. One quick thing. I was just looking up Canada. I see a lot of articles saying it is a socialist country. And then I have this one article saying that it's a capitalist system with social qualities. So
I think the answer lies between the two.
Yeah, mixed economy.
That's not America, though.
Yes, it is.
No.
That doesn't say anything. That doesn't say anything.
Just not
if
even.
I have 90% of something and 10% of something, it's technically mixed. So a mixed economy is general. It doesn't point to a solution.
Stop trolling me, Gene.
I'm not. It's not about you. I'm not coming at you.
I know. I'm just saying. No. I'm not personalizing this. I'm just being a dickhead.
Yeah, like I don't know how mixed equality mixed economy fixes the problem,
because it pulls from, I think you want to have enough capitalism where, let's say I want to work hard and I want to transcend my environment, right? I'm not okay where I'm at. I'm not okay making $50,000. I want to make 60,000 or 65. I want to be able to transcend where I am by working hard. However, I don't want it to be a fucking monopoly where like one person controls the country, huh?
Why do you want to make 65,000 instead of 50?
No, it's not about making it. It's about having. It's about
the levels that you can.
I work harder than the nigga next to me. There's no way that nigga get 50,000. I get 50,000, and I'm doing all the work. Like I know you worked in a group project, and one nigga did more work than the other, but you all get the same motherfucking grade. You don't feel no type of resentment.
I understand what you're saying.
I like that point actually with the group project thing, because I've had it where I had a group project and motherfucking I put in most of the work and then we all get the same grade, even though these slackers didn't do a goddamn thing. And it's like, God damn, like fuck out of here, nigga. You didn't work for shit.
I'm trying to figure out what the incentive to work harder is, though. And I think that the incentive to work harder may be based on the type of society you're in. So if I'm in a socialist society, I may not have the same incentive to work harder. It may not be that I don't want to or have the capacity to. It could be like the benefits, the things I would reap aren't as great.
From what I read about
capitalist society, I would have to capitalizing means there's a winner, there's a loser. I capitalized, I won. I came out on the end of it. Somebody else didn't, right? Or something else didn't. I capitalized that. It assumes that there's somebody who lost or something that lost.
No, you just capitalize.
Social
money.
Socialist governments are really balanced to the point where, like, even if you work, it kind of sucks in a sense because you can work as hard as you want and you still just can't get over that economical hump where it's like I'm still
why do you want
work as hard? You probably won't work as hard as you can. You probably won't.
But that still sucks though. Like, what happens if
harder?
Huh?
It's much harder.
I can't hear Dan.
He was saying that it's not that you can't, it's just harder.
Oh, well.
Okay, politics is this just getting the strong point in this whole
all right.
topic conversation.
That was a nice first.
But I told y'all motherfuckers 10 minutes ago.
But be honest, that was a nice first though. We never talked about politics yet.
I let it rock because I feel like we were having some interesting topics and y'all were making good viewpoints and opinions. I personally just didn't give a fuck.
Nah, Dan, just cut that. Dan, just cut that shit off, my boy. Just cut that shit off. When you feel like it's getting a little like, okay, it's leaning more towards here, just cut that shit off. Be like, okay, let's move to the next.
Yeah, but it's not about me. It's about it's about the viewers though. If the viewers, I feel like our viewers would enjoy that conversation, like genuinely enjoy that and see our viewpoints, and they might pull up and research and be like, all right, let me look up socialist versus capitalism. And they might literally it might make them think about it a lot more. So I didn't want to cut off the conversation. Just like I said, me personally, I just don't give a fuck. I respect that. I respect
y'all
watch.
That was very selfless.
First Take.
That was
I was thinking that too, Eugene. I was thinking that same word, selfless. That was very self-aware and selfless.
Yeah, I mean, y'all watch these shows and shit with these moderators. Sometimes the moderators just don't say shit. The facilitator, arbitrator, however the fuck you want to call it. Sometimes they just don't have an opinion. They just let niggas talk. Yeah, so that was kind of what I was doing.
Yeah, respected. Respect.
Yeah, my nigga Damon. Basically, what I got from this conversation is that my nigga Damon might move to Sweden.
Damon. He said Damon. He said Dan.
Why the fuck I'm going to Sweden?
I'll fuck with you, bro.
He's saying you're a socialist.
Me? Lisa? I don't know what I am. I'm a what is it? Egalitarian? I don't even fucking know. I'm more
egalitarian.
I don't know what it is. A social libertarianist or something, whatever the fuck. I don't even know what the fuck all that shit means, man.
You probably took one of those fucking online tests, didn't you? Because y'all niggas love them fucking online.
He loves those online tests.
Y'all love them fucking online.
Two of them bitches, man.
This nigga Damon gave me one on some psychological shit about how the brain works or some shit. Like how do you think?
Because he's sending something to the chat, like, yeah, take it. It'll be real quick. Yeah, like, how long is it? Like,
that should be 93 questions, nigga.
It takes 3 days, nigga.
Like, bro, I ain't got 45 minutes to find out what I already know about myself.
It'll take you like 5 minutes to answer one question because you're thinking so fucking hard for the shit he sends.
I try not to see. That's what I don't do. When I take those tests, I just go with my instincts.
You have to.
Yeah. I don't overthink it because thinking is me trying to. I look at that as me trying to convince myself out of what my natural inclination was. So when I'm answering something like that, I feel like it's going to give me my most honest results if I just go with my gut.
Facts.
I mean, some things you do have to think about, or at least want to think about, but majority of the times I agree. It's kind of like you should just answer, like, because it's going to be the first thing that comes to mind. Because I don't know if I say most people, but a lot of times people are going to go with their first instinct. You know, people don't like second guessing themselves. The ones that do,
I prefer when they have the strongly agree, slightly agree. I like those better.
Yeah, I hate when it's. Yeah, I need that neutral, because when it be strongly agree, strongly disagree, or disagree, like, bro, what if I just don't really give a fuck about this question?
Yeah, I took one on emotional intelligence, and that hurt my brain. I dissociated a couple of times. I had to turn off.
Didn't you take that shit twice too?
Dame, I will never forget. Me and Dame, I just remember coming into the living room, and when we were over there in North Campus at Southern.
C19.
And we'll just have these deep ass fucking combos. Like, Dame would just sit there and just be thinking of some shit like, yo, what happens if pigs can fly?
Man, I didn't even smoke, man. Blame the surround.
This nigga would just like stare in the sky and just start thinking this shit. We'll just be talking about it for like an hour.
Was that when Vibes was off the Ray, or was that when he was off the Ray?
I couldn't afford Ray at the time. I had exclusive. You know, it was like the
Exclusive it's cheaper than Ray.
Yeah,
exclusive. You get a fucking bottle like
exclusive is
this
dumb.
big for like $10.
It's exclusive,
My
cheaper
nigga
than
Damien in
Ray.
his own world, yo. That should be so
Exclusive is bottom.
Bottom, bro.
On the M.
Yeah, but I
No, that's above. It's above.
It just
Dubra.
it looked
It's
more
above
expensive
Dubra.
than it was.
It's above Dubra.
Obviously,
if you're drinking Dubra or
nigga,
Rubinoff or some shit,
Dubra comes in a plastic bottle. If you no, my nigga, do not
like
buy
this,
Dubra.
nigga.
Do not buy Dubra.
Bro, I remember way back I had went to my boys, we were at this party, I think it was at Springfield or AIC. And he was like, yo, just come to my dorm real quick, we'll get lit, whatever. This nigga had Rubinoff.
What the fuck is that?
Bro. And it was the same thing in plastic bottles. I was like, yeah, I'm good though. Like, I already had a drink, I'm straight, bro. Man, listen, when you drinking liquor out of a plastic bottle, like, bro, you might as well just go drink rubbing alcohol. It's the same shit.
It's the same shit.
It's the same shit.
They both come in plastic bottles.
For a reason.
Yo.
Nah. You don't get those days back. You don't get
those exclusive. Exclusive looked expensive because it had that nice glass bottle, but the shit was $10, bro.
Yo, I remember getting the exclusive handle for like $22 or whatever.
The torpedo, the fucking rocket.
Yeah,
that shit
now that I actually think about it, definitely exclusive is definitely cheaper than Ray.
Yeah.
Exclusive, 3 olives, fruity, whatever.
That shit was exclusively priced.
No. What I did not like about exclusive is that they called it exclusive. What was exclusive about the shit?
Nothing.
The price. The price.
It was all perception, man. Had niggas think I pulled up with a bottle, like, nah, that shit was basically free.
I know what I said a few minutes ago, but it's not in the name this time. It's
that shit
not
was
in the
inclusive.
that shit was
inclusive.
Exclusive, my nigga.
Inclusive.
Perception versus reality, nigga. Placebo. It's all about the placebo.
Exclusive, man. Exclusive. That means you like one of a kind. So you the only one dumb enough to drink that cheap shit. You one of a kind.
How did it make you feel? Did you feel like you're exclusive? Job done.
Yeah.
Where we at, Mr. Dan, the man with the plan?
Shit, I mean, we got a little more time, so I kind of want to jump back in. I actually had a question I wanted to ask y'all niggas, like, I don't know, before we start on this whole socialist shit, but which is very good conversation. Let me. Okay, guys, good conversation. Okay. But on the education thing, so we were talking about like how all the disparities and how they don't teach you to survive and like all this bullshit. So I want to ask y'all, what is one thing that you actually wished you learned in school, like in grade school, not college? I feel like college, it's a little different. You choose your own path. But one thing you learn like K through 12, whether it be a course you took or just a basic knowledge of something you wish you learned, but you actually didn't.
I got an easy one.
Go ahead.
Real estate. If I learned that in grade school, if I learned about just acquiring real estate, the process of that in general, just teach me. Obviously, don't go as in depth as you do when you go to actual real estate school, but teach me what a lien is. Teach me about why I can't, about property borders and what a strip mall really is and how rent works, and just give me like the introduction to that sort of stuff so I can kind of develop a perspective on it. And I don't have to learn it as an adult. I can already have some familiarity with it as like an 18-year-old. And then I'm more equipped to like do damage when I get into the economy, which is what they don't want. They just want us to buy shit to make it look like we spending money on
just
people.
get in debt.
We're spending money on that.
Niggas don't realize the stimmy is a trick.
So basically we spending money.
I want to go back to that, but let's continue.
Who next? Keenan, you want to?
Oh no, I was just chiming in. I was just saying they just want us to spend money on their shit so that they keep eating.
Correct.
Oh yeah, 100%.
That's where we're filtering our money into. But go ahead, Dan.
Me?
Dan, one thing you wish you learned.
don't care. I was not the best student. I half-assed school. I'm surprised I graduated. I don't
You
really.
half-assed this answer. That's what you half-assed,
self-deprecating.
bro. Come on.
The reason
I'm
why
gonna
I'm
give you
saying
some more
this, bro,
time to think. I'm gonna give you some more time to think. There has to be something.
I don't need time to think. I knew the answer. I still had the answer as soon as you asked the question because it was to be like, I don't want to go back and say that something that I've learned in school is unimportant. If you asked me this question 5 years ago, I would have said a bunch of shit I learned in school is probably pointless.
If my boy Biz were here right now, he would say, "Cat doing the jump."
What's this mean? Enlighten me.
No, continue. No, go.
You gotta enlighten me, man. I mean,
I will. It'll come back full circle. Continue. I don't want to take you off your
okay
path.
I don't want to. 5 years ago, I would have said school is completely pointless. I would have said that I learned a bunch of stuff that I will never use and I never used and blah, blah, blah. Now I'm looking at school and saying, I learned stuff that I may not have had the opportunity to use yet. So on that regard, I'm not going to discredit anything I have learned. In terms of what I wish I had learned, I don't.
Bro,
you don't think it's trash that I don't know your pockets. I'm not counting your pockets, but most people are in debt when they get out of college. You don't think it's trash that you could potentially be in debt right now and you haven't applied that knowledge yet?
Well, to be fair, I don't think I cared enough about. I didn't care about school, to be honest. I'm not like I went to school. I went to college because it was a path, right? Like didn't know what I wanted to do. I probably still don't know exactly what I want to do, right? So my family told me, if you don't know what the fuck you want to do, you go on this path, right? You go to school, because at least if you're not going to know what the fuck you're doing, at least you have something. You know what I mean? At least you'll be somewhere, right? I'm not going to be a bum on the street saying, I don't know what I'm doing. At least I have a college degree and I'm working a job saying, I don't know what I want to do. There's a difference. So that is why I kind of went to school. So like, in the sense is, if I really wanted to go to school and I did my due diligence, I would have been more informed on how school worked. And maybe I wouldn't be in debt, or maybe I wouldn't have been in the major I was. It's a totally different scenario if I actually gave a fuck about school.
So
but
James, can I ask you a question?
In school, huh? What's up?
What the fuck did you learn y equals mx plus b? When did you use that?
I didn't. That's not. It doesn't mean I'm not going to, and that's what I'm saying. That's why I said that before 5 years ago, I would have been like, "Fuck all that." Now I'm saying I may not use it. I may not have used it yet, and maybe. Do you think there'll be a point where you're gonna use y equals mx plus b? I don't know. And when Eugene said that you gotta teach us how to survive, maybe all these tools, maybe all of that shit is just puzzle pieces, right?
I just want to say one thing. I just want to ask one thing. What is the probability that you're going to use that same
equation? Nigga, I'm not a fortune teller. I don't know.
Oh my God. Probability is not about fortune telling.
Where I'm using that shit.
No, it's not saying that. It's not black and okay.
Probability
in your own personal opinion and your experiences so far in life, what is the probability that you're going to use that same equation in a job that you're going to get now? Or
not even a job, just in life in general. It has nothing to do with a job.
A hobby. I don't know what it is.
I can tell you when you might be able to use it. I saw a meme about this on Facebook. If you don't have anything.
So do you know how Isaac Newton is the nigga who with gravity, right?
Wait, what just happened?
It's gonna come back. Isaac Newton is the nigga with gravity, right? One of them niggas, gravity nigga, right? You know how he discovered or thought about gravity and how that whole thing came about is he was sitting under a tree and an apple hit him in the fucking head, right? From that, it was like what? Distance. Like he created a formula based on that simple event, right? So with that said, I'm saying I don't know, because I'm probably not even halfway through my life. I'm saying that information that I learned in school, I haven't lived my life long enough to know if I'm going to use it. And I can't say that I know a probability if I'm going to be using that tomorrow or ever. I don't know. But I'm going to say that I am grateful that I learned it, because it may become something that benefits me later on in my life.
How well did
So
did you still retain it? Like, are you really good at it right now as we speak?
I don't need to be because I'm not using it now. But if I am using it, then I'm like, this is.
But that's the thing. If you're not
that's
using it now and then you forget it, that
then
point
how
in
is it
time in your
useful?
life when you need to use it.
Do you know what the
What
word?
if you don't remember it?
Do you know
That's what I'm
the,
saying. Like,
do you know
It's
what
going
the
to be
word?
familiar at least.
Do you know what the word apathy? Do you know what the word apathy means?
No, I gotta Google this. There's a lot of Googling that needs to be happening today.
Vocab Dean, hit him with the definition.
It essentially means something gets worse because it's not getting used.
So
Like,
atrophy or apathy?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, atrophy.
yeah, I was confused too because I heard apathy too. I was like, huh?
Yeah, that's
why
I was mad confused. I was like, maybe Eugene was like going somewhere with this.
I fucked up.
No, you're good. Yeah, so I get what you're saying. If you don't use it, you lose it.
Yeah, like you're not applying it, and it's been years since it's been taught to you. And I again, both sides of the fence. I don't deny the fact that a metaphoric apple could fall from a tree and hit you in the head one day, and you say, boom, this shit just makes perfect sense all of a sudden. And I learned this when I was in 10th grade, and now I can do this thing. But the word we use is probability of that is like, I don't want to. The fact of the matter is, you're being taught things to put you on a path without you knowing. Like, decisions are being made for you to kind of steer you.
Myself.
No, it has nothing to do with you. It's about if I wind something up in the back, if I wind up a little toy that walks in the back and I set it in a direction, chances are if there's no other forces to affect it, it's going to go in the direction I set it. Right. And it's not about the toy itself. It's just like, I'll put it in that direction. That's what
what's wrong with that?
You're not a toy, right? You have autonomy. You're a person. You have a chance to learn.
Autonomy as long as I use my fucking brain. Not everybody uses their fucking brain, right? So
but how can you use how can you use autonomy if you don't know?
Exactly. If they're
how can you choose to do something that you don't know how to do?
Right. I
you got a critical. That's on you to be able to critically think and say, hey, I don't. You like.
But not everybody. But that's.
Not everybody does.
Look. There's a scenario where they talk about a boy in the woods who doesn't grow up learning about religion. Does he go to hell? It's like that. If they never taught him about religion, you can't say, I could critical think,
right?
And I find out what God
make any
is
sense
in the Psalms, and like, no, I've never been exposed to it on purpose. They never exposed me to the Bible, therefore I don't know shit about the Bible.
But you can critical think your situation. I grew up in Christianity,
Christianity
only, and I questioned Christianity, being someone who grew up in it, and said, wait a minute, I don't know about this. I don't know if a lot of this shit makes sense.
You're questioning something that you were exposed to.
Right, you were still exposed to. So wait, hold on.
How you gonna question something you don't know about?
Well, Eugene's analogy about the boy in the woods. Okay, let's think of Tarzan. And you're raised by a bunch of fucking monkeys and fucking boars and all types of shit. And you never were brought up to learn the Bible or nothing like that. He can critically think his way into knowing about it.
John said no.
Yeah, he can't.
To me, being in that same scenario, me critical thinking is being Tarzan and saying, why don't I look like those other motherfucking monkeys? Why am I different?
No, but
that's
critical
thinking.
They were exposed.
No. But that's critical thinking about why you don't look like them. That's not critically thinking about religion.
The Bible.
That's the point you're trying to make.
Right, but to your point, you're saying you don't know what you don't know, of course. But you could rationally, if something doesn't make sense.
Dame, look. If I specifically don't teach you about taxes, I specifically don't teach you about credit, and I just don't give you financial literacy on purpose, and then I inject you into a society at 18 years old that is built and literally contingent on those things, you are at a disadvantage. If I teach other people about taxes, I teach other people about credit, and I teach them how to be financially literate in a society that is based on those things, they have an advantage because they were exposed to information. You don't. You can learn if by happenstance and your life circumstances take you to situations where you're exposed to the information and you choose to absorb it and apply it. But if you're never exposed to it, even if you don't know, are at a disadvantage.
You're right. That's not my whole claim is you could look at your situation and say, like, this is not it, right? So I could, like I said, I'm in a situation. I'm in the jungle. I'm Tarzan with a bunch of apes that don't look like me. The first step is not going to be, I'm not going to discover the Bible overnight, right? But the first step of breaking out of the situation I'm in is saying, hey, I don't look like these other niggas. What the fuck is the difference? Once you start questioning that, then you start questioning another thing. Okay, are there other people like me? And then you say, oh, okay, I am now with other humans. Okay, now what are they doing? They're going to a church or something? Like it all plays in. It's not, critical thinking may not get you, it may not go from being in the jungle to being in a church, but it could be a step.
I think I think I can.
It's something I'm not doing.
I think that okay. So I think I'm starting to see Dame's point up just a tad here. So like, it's like, oh, let's say I'm 35 years old and it's like, hey, why are you the way you are now? Oh, it's because of I was raised by my mother. And my mother went about life this way, and this is what she taught me, yada yada. But once you hit 18, once you hit that adult age, whatever the case may be, like, it's up to you to take that accountability to start finding, like, to start seeing the light.
Yeah, but how can you be held accountable for something you don't know?
You're not accountable for what you don't know, but you could, to me, I think you could question what you do. What it's not even what you know. What you do know is what authorities have told you. So if I know something only on the sole basis that my mother told me it, that's not empirical data.
But that's not what we're trying to say.
Exactly. That's not in
line. So in the same exact scenario, if you were brought up by your mother, right, and she doesn't teach you about one religion or another, she doesn't tell you anything about religion, right? But she tells you about all these other things, about financial literacy, about education, about blah, blah, blah. Now you're 18, you're on your own. You're questioning what she taught you. So now you're questioning financial literacy. You're questioning how to do this and how to do that. You're still not introduced to religion. So how do you know to question religion if you don't even know what religion is?
Correct.
That's what Eugene's trying to say. How do you know to critically think about something you have no idea exists?
Oh, okay. In that regard,
because people specifically
didn't not exposed to
it. Right. And that's what Eugene had. That's what Eugene has said. He said, but if you're not exposed to it, then how can we make this argument?
That's what he's trying to say. But I see both sides of the fence.
I see what Dame was. I do see what Dame was saying.
I see what Dame was saying
more. I agreed way more with Gene. Don't get me wrong, but I kind of seen the little spiciness from Dame with the.
So the reason. So let's go back. So let's go back to the direction now. So remember, you said you wind up the toy, and the toy is going to go straight unless it's
diverted by some other circumstance.
To me, the diversion is critical thinking, right? Because we're humans and we have brains, and we're not just fucking wind up dolls that can just go. While I think that a lot of people not a lot of people, there may be some people that are fucking wind up dolls, and you can just, they need direction, and they probably should be fucking, I don't like using should, but it's probably a good thing that motherfuckers are wound.
The only time you need direction, the only time you need direction is when you don't know what to do. And sometimes you don't know what to do because people made it that way, because that was somebody's intention, and it's not even your fault. And I can be like, you need guidance. But what I'm really saying is, in a particular set of circumstances, you need guidance relative to my understanding of this circumstance. You're not performing well or to the level that I'm used to in this thing. So like, nigga, you need guidance. You need to get it together.
But Dame, even in your same scenario of the wind-up doll that should, quote unquote, because they're not using should, but that's going straight, and there's a something that diverts it. Okay, so there's something that diverts it to the right. So they're questioning something, they critically think that diverts it to the right instead of going straight. What if they still have nothing that diverts it to the left?
Right.
Why does it need something to go to the left? It's just breaking off the path, right?
You're saying exactly. So they diverted the path, but they're diverting the path of one thing that they may have know or question or whatever, but they're still not diverting a different path to something they have no idea about.
Bro, okay. as human beings, we're gonna die not knowing a bunch of things. We're gonna die not knowing a majority of things that happen in the world.
Yeah.
You know that, right? So with that said, it's like if just because we went left and we're missing right, that doesn't fucking matter. We're probably gonna miss majority of the shit that happens in the world. What I'm saying is, you're
Damon,
thinking critically. True. You're breaking off of.
But we're talking about the education system. So like, it's not about what you do or don't learn in life before you die. I think all branched off the educational system.
I think, Damon, you're thinking very,
critically.
No, I you're thinking
critically,
you're branching. I think you're branching into a lot of different other phenomenons that are not there, or that is not being brought up in this conversation.
It's all relative to that same. It can all bring it back to the same. I can bring it back to anywhere you want.
I don't think this is the emphasis of this conversation, honestly.
Okay.
All right, that's cool. I don't even give a fuck no more.
Fair enough.
Keenan, what did you wish? I forgot. What was the question? What did you not learn that you wish you learned? And that's not the right wording, but
oh shit, I forgot that was even the question. Damn.
The rabbit hole. Like I said, I can go back full circle. I can rewind this bitch.
So me personally is health. Because we're talking about it was high school, right?
You didn't learn health in school?
In high school, not really.
What?
I'm talking about like a real. I'm talking about a strong breakdown,
comprehensive,
like cooking. In detail, in depth. Like I don't feel like they really.
So break it down to me. What did you not learn that you wished you would have learned? Like in regards to health, like you're saying health, but like what aspect of
like
health?
Food, like the eating aspect, not like sexual aspect and condoms and all that other shit.
Yeah,
like food and stuff like that. I just felt like even this is what I learned in school, right? So it's actually funny. One of my health teachers, it wasn't an actual like class, it was one of those extracurricular classes. I forgot what they were called, like
intramurals. No,
not intramurals, or no. I forgot what it's called.
That's besides the point.
Detention.
But basically in those little classes, this thing said detention. But it's kind of crazy because in those classes, I remember when veganism, vegetarian lifestyles were first like brought up to me, like first introduced and everything. And I remember my health teacher told me that that's not a good diet, or that's not a good lifestyle. Like you shouldn't be living like that. Like you need meat, you need nice, like less fattening portions of beef. You need a lot of chicken, you need a lot of turkey, yada yada. And she said eating just like beans and any type of chickpeas, whatever the case may be, like that stuff is just no, like it's not long lasting. You shouldn't be doing it. You shouldn't be getting your protein from Brussels sprouts and broccoli and quinoa and stuff like that. It's not gonna. There's no longevity. Huh?
Can I be controversial? Ish.
Why did you have to ask that question?
I mean, we're on PI for a reason.
Yeah,
I feel like y'all already have an opposing view.
The nigga who asks rhetorical questions.
Does it matter if we have an opposing view? What?
Is that a question that I'm supposed to answer? But anyways, anyway, maybe school did a good job. Maybe the purpose, and I'm not saying it is, maybe it's a good thing that it just got our feet wet in a bunch of different topics to see what piques our interest. Because then again, like I said, I can only speak for myself. I don't know what the fuck I want to do, right? So if you introduce someone to all these different topics and like anything you're passionate about, you're gonna.
Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question, Damon? Do you think that? Let me ask you a question. Do you think that was the goal? Like, do you think that was their goal?
I don't care, to be honest. It doesn't matter to me.
Okay, so everybody's okay. Let me just say this. Not everybody's a critical thinker. Let me say that I'm a critical thinker. I can definitely say that. I can see that you're a critical thinker, right?
If not everybody, the motherfuckers need to be wound up and set in a direction. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, well, listen. Okay,
If
listen.
they're not gonna think for
All right,
themselves.
all right. Listen, nigga. Let me just tell you something. So, what I'm saying is, my nigga, not everybody can think in that type of way, and they try to make you think in this black and white way of thinking to a result that's not always the right way of thinking.
What is the
Yo, the one thing about critical thinking, bro, and I draw issue so far with how it's being used. I've been trying to chill on it.
okay?
You can critically think about different things.
Yeah.
You know, there are niggas who don't speak well in general. I won't use the term proper English, but like who don't articulate themselves well, who will
Me.
critical think the fuck out of you on a basketball court, who will critical think the fuck out of you in a fight, on a
Depending
football
on the
field.
situation, basically.
Exactly, but won't critical think on a science test, on a math test, and you may have the aptitude to do that, and not the opposite. You would get the ball on the basketball play and panic and travel, or lose the ball and have a turnover. It's about what you're good at. So it's not about whether or not niggas could critically think and put them in a direction. It's about what are they critically thinking about and how that pertains to what their fucking skill set is.
So Dame, like I guess in Eugene's example, it's almost like you're generalizing critical thinking.
Okay.
Yes.
In terms of life, right, and direction, right? Because I thought essentially that was my whole argument in the whole toy winding up. Like, if we don't have a direction or a path in life, because we were talking about school and teaching us, preparing us for life, if someone doesn't have a direction, if they're not thinking of their own way of how they want to figure out life, what is so horrible about having them put on a straight path or put on a predetermined path if they're not going to?
In our scenario,
it's not a problem that they're getting put on a straight path. It's a problem that they're not having options to choose their own path.
Exactly.
That's the point of autonomy. Being able to choose how you want to do something.
But you can.
But this teacher,
I don't understand.
Wait.
What options?
But Dame, going back to this teacher,
So
she was making
how
it
can
seem
you-
like. Then you went.
Go ahead, Mo. Go ahead. No, go
I
ahead.
was just gonna say, like, with this teacher that I'm talking about, she was basically eliminating a path for me personally.
She's trying to
She was
bias
saying,
you.
yeah, she was drawing a bias to it. She's just like, yo, because she didn't fuck with it.
No, that's
veganism,
that's nothing to do with
vegetarian thing.
That's not. Yeah, I get it. I didn't like
her
the
title
fact
is her title is teacher.
bro. I understand that, but I don't think my personal
But
view
she's
on a lot of
teaching
teachers
niggas against autonomy. She's trying to say, this don't fuck with this shit, my nigga. Eat some meat. I'm here.
That's what I.
Yeah, we gotta.
And then give and then on top of that, then give a real reason why.
Bro, but I have that same.
This is not like a Jehovah's Witness on the street trying to give you optional information. This is a person you get up at 6 a.m. to go learn from and believe in and absorb and apply the information that they're teaching you. Her name is she's your teacher, my nigga, and she's trying to bias you.
She's not trying to. She's a natural human being, and we all have our beliefs and stuff like that. And if you have a teacher that
it's not about that.
So in this very same scenario, say
I don't know what's so hard about it, bro.
So in this very same scenario, say that Keenan's teacher tells him about what's healthy to eat, what's not healthy to eat, doesn't even introduce him to the idea of veganism or vegetarian at all, right? So she's just saying, this is how you eat healthy. How is Keenan supposed to determine that being vegan or being vegetarian is a good option if he doesn't even know what vegan or vegetarian is?
So Dame, basically, Dame, listen. Hold on. Dame, she's basically putting me on this linear path to begin with.
Right.
Just trend that way.
Yeah.
So I don't deviate to anything else. She's already eliminating all these other options.
No, nigga, and then you're limiting. Your brain is the only limiting factor.
No, but at a young age, but you gotta understand, at a young age
yeah, at a young age. Yes, okay. You're right.
Yo, look,
but
even
simple.
Really simple, yo. It's really simple, yo. If you learn your colors and I never teach you about the color red, my nigga, you're not going to critically think about the color red because
until you see it or you
I'm
get
leaving
exposed.
that color out on purpose. I'm essentially, you're like a test. Yeah, I'm looking to see what the results are. I, as the person who's influencing you in your impressionable stage and withholding useful information from you. So you don't have complete autonomy because I'm literally withholding information from you.
I don't think it's like they're teaching with intent to withhold. And it's like you said, there's like
go back to the scenario, bro. Did you learn simple 7th grade economics?
No, but it doesn't mean that they were trying to withhold. They were teaching me other shit, and it goes back to my point of we're gonna die.
And what about the
decipher the other shit?
But what about the 7th grade that I was learning all the other shit you were learning and learning economics?
No. First, start with my question. Decipher the other things.
What do you mean decipher the other things?
Because you were saying that they were teaching you other shit. What's the other shit? What's the other things? I want to know.
Why does it matter? It wasn't economics.
Why couldn't they put that in there? Why couldn't they slide?
It's not about what the other
Aborigine Australia. There's a bunch of things you can say. Why didn't they teach me this? And it goes to my point where you're gonna die not knowing a majority of the shit that happens. So you can't say, "Oh, they taught me this," and
but that's not
they
the
should have
point
taught
we're
me
talking.
this. Like, come on.
Damn, time out. You're talking about knowing information that may or may not affect you. We're talking about learning information that will directly affect your situation and how you live.
Right away.
How you can right
away, by the way. Like they teach you basically what niggas trying to say is they teach you a lot of bloat.
You could never learn about the Aborigines and still be a fucking millionaire. You can't be a fucking millionaire if you don't know what taxes and credit are.
Right. They're teaching you.
I don't give a fuck
right. And that's why. Hold on. Right. And that's the main thing.
That's not the point I'm trying to make.
I hate when
I'm trying to make you can't. It's not if you want to or what you cannot.
And they teach you all this bloat, but not things that are going to directly impact you once you become an adult.
My nigga, you just explained that you went through school and now you've adopted this new perspective of, instead of saying fuck this school or whatever my perspective was, maybe there'll be a scenario when I can apply this information one day. Other niggas are literally being equipped to outperform you.
Right.
It's being built for their success and not yours. You are being put in position, if anything, to work for them. You're being taught how to be an employee, not a boss, bro.
You're being put in a position that you have to learn how to critically think, when they're being put in a position that they're already critical thinkers. So you have to learn something that they already know how to do.
I don't know where I learned how to critically think at a young age. I don't know where I got it.
I mean,
it wasn't from, I don't get it. I think it's as simple as questioning why the stuff that happens in your life happened, right?
What age did you learn to critically think, bro?
I don't know, but I can tell you I was questioning church while I was in it as a young child.
Oh, I see what's going on. I see what's going on. You're basing it you're just completely basing it just on yourself, though.
Correct.
You're not speaking for the other.
I did this at a young age, so I don't understand why other niggas couldn't.
Okay.
No, that's what it is, bro. I can hear it the way you're speaking. I.
Right. Yes. Sure. You're right.
Man, fuck y'all niggas, man.
Love you too, bro. Love you too.
Man, so I just want to say real quick, what I wish I would have fucking learned, back to the original topic once again, is I wish I would learn about motherfucking credit and about taxes. And that's it. One, just knowing what taxes are in general and knowing how to fucking do my taxes. I still gotta have someone else do my taxes. I don't do my own fucking taxes, bro.
I don't do my own taxes either, my nigga.
I feel like every single person should know how to do their own taxes.
And other niggas are being taught how to start tax doing companies.
Right.
You're not even being taught how to do your company.
But I at the same time,
taxes, excuse me.
At the same time, I get it, because it's like people are learning a service and they should, maximize profit off of that. Like, not everyone can know how to, be a garbage man. Not everyone can know how to be a plumber. Not everyone can know how to be an electrician. So I get it, but something like taxes, like in credit, like I shouldn't have to pay motherfuckers to fix my credit. I should know how to fix my credit.
As an American,
I shouldn't have to pay motherfuckers.
Two most important things.
Bro, if you got credit, dead it. If you think a crackhead's paying you back, forget it.
Fact.
Yeah,
That is a fact.
this nigga.
But shit,
Sure.
I feel like that's a good note to leave this shit on. I feel like we had some good conversations, and we're rambling now. Well, not
No, I don't think we're rambling.
Before we get too deep,
I don't want us to deep dive into another conversation because we've been on this shit long enough. So that's pretty much what I'm really getting at. But I feel like today, everyone got their point across. We had some good conversations, some good topics, and I just want to point out Keenan's an offie for not having on a hat.
I was just about to say this. I want to stay true. I want to stay true. I was just thinking. I want to stay true to myself.
All right. I could connect you with the plug. You know, the plug.
She said she doesn't have any more hats right now. I already asked.
Oh well, there you go. You could get a T-shirt. But fuck it, man. This is the Politically Incorrect podcast. We're gonna go ahead and hit our outros. To start with my boy, brains of the operation, K Mugga.
Yes, follow me Instagram KMugga19. Mugga out.
Yo, it's your boy Gene June, man. Please follow me at Gene.June with 2 E's. Peace.
So is it Gene June like how it's spelled right there? Joon?
Nah, I'm thinking about trying to find a bunch of different ways to say June. But
I like it. It's creative.
So when they follow you and they put OONEE, they're gonna be confused.
Yeah, facts. Gene.June, regular spelling with 2 E's.
Say less.
Right. Me, Misa, Vibes, Damon, Vibes, No Cartel, No Spice. I don't know.
And it's me, your boy, the Arbiter, as they so call me. Dan the Man, Petty King Danny at Noob Skywalker. Holla at your boy. Follow Politically Incorrect podcast. And you know what it's about. So just interesting conversations all day. Holla at us. We out.